Welcome back, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to another wonderful episode of The Fall of New Vesara. I am your humble dungeon master, Tyson Fraleigh here. But of course, you're not here for me. You're here for our illustrious players. To start off, she may be a small dragon living up at the top of a mountain. I promise that she just wants to come down the mountain, hand out some good old coins for the public, and also, if everyone's willing, to set up a good potluck. That is Hannah Halcro.
I do make a mean chili. Watch out, though. It's spicy.
Next up, this individual looks quite frightening based on the octopus tentacles coming out of their face, but once having the craving for human brains has slowly turned towards the delicious wonders of tofu, it is Takeshi Fukushima. Next up, this next player may have 16 pairs of eye stalks that are watching you perpetually in a massive maw filled with jagged teeth that'll rip you asunder without a moment's hesitation. But they're just watching 16 different episodes of The Office all at the same time. It is Liz Nyveen.
So at first I thought I was going to be the beholder with two backs, and then you said there's 16 pairs, so I actually have 4 times as many eyes as I am meant to. Like some kind of mutant toothy mod soccer ball. We'll have to come up with new rays to shoot out of them.
Our final player is staggering in size, coming in at over 20 feet tall, but with massive size, massive bronze, and just a lot of giant training with axes and such. He is truly the best one to call when you need your forest decluttered. It is Adam Honigman.
I'm David S. Pumpkins. Any questions?
Yes, we are back in the Halloween spirit, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for your performing pleasures. And with that being said, we might as well jump straight in to this week's episode. Last time on The Fall of New Vesara, the party got up to quite a bit over the course of the beginning of their day. They each individually had a little bit of their own unique adventure, with Regina having a little bit of a hair of the dog before running out to go and meet up with Lance and Barb. Upon convergence, they were also caught up with Gilly, who had 2 surprising visitors come to their office, one of which being Elmira Tross, the sister of Duncan, as well as a individual known as Martin St. Luke that seemingly has a bad relationship with Gilly. The party was able to reconverge at Barb's apartment and headed towards the Onyx Ungulate Construction Company, where you guys had a conversation with the leader of the Thunderkin organized crime family, Oslo. The group then was offered a trade in sorts to get information about a individual that you all know as Rorden Laskin, a seeming member of the group. In exchange for this, that Oslo would be able to procure for you, you all were tasked with finding a lost finger inside of a vault of the Museum of Esoteric Histories, down in the Magnus Ward. Upon retrieval, you'll be able to get the information about Laskin, and do the Thunderkin clan, as it were, a very big service. You guys then decided to head towards the museum, scope it out, where they had just announced a new security detail being updated based on the information that you guys were given by Thunderkin, including the creation of what are known as atonochasms, or what look to be almost spider-like humanoids that are seemingly designed to protect the museum. And that's where we left off.
Maybe we shouldn't be going into this right now.
I mean, I'm more of a lover than a fighter, so,
I think I could take, like 2 of them, but I don't know if I could take more than that.
Well, I'm not really that fond of college students in general, but if we want to talk to someone.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind knowing a little bit more about what we're up against here.
My additional suggestion may also be bold. What if perhaps we sort of force their hand in terms of having one of these automatons turn on an unsuspecting bystander, create a bit of a controversy, and then they'll be forced to shut them all down.
Well, I can't say I've ever trusted a machine to do as it's told, so it's only a matter of time before they go rogue.
My understanding of these artificers and the way they manage is their ego is larger than their capabilities, and if they are so bold as to suggest that this will not cause any harm to any civilians, perhaps I'm not one to trust them. So if we can prove that, they may be forced to remove these from the grounds, and that will give us our leeway to make do as we please.
It's not a bad point. What's the reputation? What's the reputation of these people in the city? Like the people who made this atomic chasm?
As of the current moment, you're not entirely sure. You just know it is a artificing guild. And it was in relation to the University of New Vesara. I'll say make an Arcana check.
Tyson, is this like the artificing Harvard? Is it like the school, or is it just a school?
Oh, it's a very prominent school.
So I rolled a 0.
A 0.
Okay.
You're not even sure if these things are made of magic. Like, are these people? These could be people.
There's at least one little man in there. 100%.
Why's the guy gotta be little? Why can't he just be big and invisible?
Yeah,
it's fucking annoying, actually.
Barb has a pamphlet from the school and she's holding it upside down.
I think I can read. I know how to read, but not well.
How far is the university? Like, is it like a day trek?
Oh, no. It's around the corner.
Okay, so maybe we should swing by. It's seeming kind of hot around here anyway with that big announcement.
Yeah, maybe they have like a pamphlet or a poster board or something we can learn more about.
Yeah, maybe there's a science fair we can rob.
Yeah. You know how academics are.
I try not to.
I actually don't know how academics are. I'm sorry.
They're fucking annoying.
Well, come along then. I'm alright, like halfway down the street.
Alright.
Jingle, 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 jingle.
What does this place look like?
It's pretty huge, for one thing. As you guys are approaching, basically around the corner from the actual museum, it transforms basically from open streets where people are able to travel through into probably about 5, 6, 7 blocks of just open field. There's different trees that have been planted. Like it's basically a open thoroughfare of just verdant nature. This would be the western apex of the property. You can see that there is a large semicircle constructed building, very neo-Roman, like the massive pillars that go up in this half circle shape, but more like the colonial-esque windows, the doors that go into open, like large open rooms. Like it almost looks reminiscent of a palace in its size and organization. There's gold filigree along with these ivory stone slabs that build up to the top. The windows are massive and spread out in various directions. You also do see that there are multiple other buildings that are constructed within this stretch of property. None of them are as big as this structure. And looking towards the other ones, they definitely have a little bit of a scattered kind of time, like when they're constructed. Like this was definitely something that's been around for the longest. And then these other buildings have been built up to accommodate for different needs.
Are you a college man, Gilly?
Oh, fuck off, no.
It's a simple question. No need to bite my head off about it.
Well, clearly you enjoyed education.
Well, enjoy is a strong word for it, but yes, I am a college woman.
Gross. What about you, Barb?
What's a college?
We're in one.
I think I might have made a college once. I glued some things to a piece of paper.
Yeah, they're full of young people with nothing better to do.
I look confused and kind of just look around.
Is this your character now that you failed? You're just gonna be an idiot.
No. Oh, I do canonically have -2 to all intelligence-based checks, so... I know a lot about my one, area of the city, but I couldn't tell you much about anything else.
How are you at noticing things?
Pretty good at noticing things.
All right. Because I'm going to try and put a business card in your pocket without you noticing.
Make a sleight of hand check and a perception check.
Okay. Okay, so that's 19 on the perception check.
Oh, no. You're gonna catch me.
Pretty good at noticing. Low intelligence, high wisdom is my favorite kind of D&D character to play.
11.
So Barb, you see as Gilly just basically tries to do the soft bump where it's you bump someone, they go hey, and then in the distraction put it, but Gilly does it too late, so Gilly just shoulder checks you. You just ow, turn, and then very conspicuously puts it in your front pocket. But they're really trying.
What is this? Take it out of the pocket and look at it.
It's Martin's business card.
Oh, Martin's business card. Okay.
Why are you giving this to me?
Maybe there's clues there you should investigate.
Are you giving me homework?
No, I'm sharing a lead because you're my fellow investigator.
Oh, thanks.
I feel like at some point we're going to need to diversify our efforts here. And you seem personable, so you could probably get through to him.
I cross my arms and in a way that shows off their muscular nature. I see. Personable.
No, with your mouth.
Anyway, I'll keep the card. I'll put it in my pocket. Whatever.
Let's go to the big building and never talk about this again. Swig.
So in which case, for Regina, this being your old stomping grounds, you actually have a lot of handy background knowledge on the university that makes traveling around much easier than usual. You know that main building holds a lot of the, at least the upper floors, kind of just as with any other university, is kind of divided a little bit into different departments. This main building usually consists of the people who want to go into arcane craft, which is usually in the basement. There's the business students, the economics students, the law students, at least on the undergraduate level. Most of the arts kids are left to frolic around in the back. Enter into the main foyer where you can see that there are two sets of massive stairs on the left and the right. There's a series of doors pretty much everywhere leading into either classrooms or into different administrative offices. However, you immediately clock over to your right-hand side where you can see that there's a smaller office that leads in where you can see that there's a older gentleman kind of writing at a desk, pulling down glasses, looking down at it, pulling them back up, which seems to, if memory serves based on the time you were here, never really going here very often. This is probably the secretary.
Excuse me.
See, the old man puts down a piece of paper. Man!
Hello, we're looking for the artificers department, or engineering, or whatever it is you call it around these parts. I didn't come to this section of the campus very much, I'm afraid.
Depends on what section are you talking about? Arco-Engineering, Arco-Craft, Arco... it's a lot of Arco shit.
Arco-Engineering, I suppose? The one with the big Arcano-chasms.
I don't know. That's a funky word. Don't know anything about that. But if you're looking for Arco-Engineering, that's downstairs. Whole bunch of stuff all around there.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Basement.
Following the steps down, it very quickly becomes pretty confusing for everyone else except for Regina, just because there's no actual indicators of this is a specific department. It's mostly just room numbers. So I will say for Regina, make a investigation check.
That would be an 11.
11. Okay. As you guys are walking around this section, you do notice that the absolute center of the floor, it's weirdly constructed. The actual space seems to be almost built around this large circular room that seems to encompass this floor. You're encountering just various people kind of walking in and out of classrooms. You can see that there's a variety that seem to be holding massive textbooks that they're having to like trudge around along. Many of them look to be like either like newer, like recently hand-me-downed spell books that are all kind of bursting at the seams, as it were. However, with Regina kind of in main walking here, you do come around to a set of double doors that are slightly open, where you can see the centermost room here actually opens up, and you can see that there's rows of seats that encircle a very large, basically, hole in the floor. It almost looks like an auditorium that has multiple levels built onto it.
Is there like a speaking podium or a desk or something at the front of it?
From your current perspective, you can't see, but you do hear someone talking.
Is the class like in session?
It seems to be. It does seem to be winding down. You're noticing students who are beginning to like pack up their stuff and heading out, and you're just hearing a declarative voice on the inside.
I will go inside.
Okay. You step inside. As the doors swing open, you can see that most of the students don't even mind you, as you're looking at a very well-crafted balcony that this is. It's basically just a giant circular balcony that, as you look down, it goes into what looks to be the floor beneath this one, which is another second floor balcony, before heading to the third floor basement, where you can see it opens into a massive room. Inside, it is strikingly like it's basically getting into the second floor basement. You start to hit some of the original architecture of Vesara when it was once the Flying City. So you're getting like bronze encrusted and carved floors for feet that were probably 100 times the size of you. So you're seeing this, what looks to be an elevated stage that is built upwards, that you see a singular person who's standing on. The actual construction of the room that it's in keeps it proportional, where you can see, well, actually make a perception check, Regina.
9.
9, okay. You do catch what looks to be a woman, haired, tied back into a tight bun, seems to be like black and gold kind of robe set up at the front, just shouting out, "Make sure to check out the chapters on tinctures, diverting metals, and all related matters. We're going to be reviewing that to come next session. Please enjoy your weekend. Until the next time, la-di-da-di-da." Kind of defeated goes towards the desk as you begin to see all of the students beginning to head out of the appropriate floors.
I didn't know we were a Friday.
Truly the most terrifying thing of all. The Friday.
I'd like to go in and peer and see if there are any manholes, like the one in the basement of the Bernie Bakery.
Ah, I see what you're saying. Please make a perception check.
18.
18. You are not seeing any of these like circular wall mounts. However, with that being said, the structure does look similar to it in that it is similar to the actual old city architecture.
All right. I'll go over to the balcony. Is the professor still down below?
Yes, she is.
Oh, excuse me, Professor.
See the head kind of turn before looking straight up? Just kind of waves you down.
I will fly down to her level.
You flutter on down the 2 floors as she stands behind her desk. Yes, I'm sorry, I don't recognize you.
My apologies. Regina, I'm from the law department. I was wondering if I could ask you a small question. Perhaps just directions.
Sure. What can I help you with?
Well, I don't know if you've been over to the museum recently, but I was just there. They were unveiling some new security features, something called an Arcano-Chasm, something like that.
Ah. So it seems they have unveiled it already. Yes, I am aware.
Well, I just heard that, it was developed at least in part by a department at this college here. I was wondering if you'd be able to point me towards it. I was just very curious about it.
Make a persuasion check.
15.
15. She nods. Well, I do have a lecture within the next hour, but I can lead you to there. It is quite exciting work, but you have to understand that we have to keep certain things hush-hush, as per security and all. But I am happy to at least show you some elements of it that were, I suppose, interesting to work on, as far as we're allowed to say.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you.
All right, follow me. Begins to lead out of the room.
I'm going to motion for the rest of the crew to come with me. I hope you don't mind if the students I'm supervising come with us.
Sure, that's fine.
Trotting down the stairs, I guess.
Clunk, clunk. You do see that in these, in these raised balconies, there are steps that lead down to the other balcony and then to the ground floor. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Guys, head down, following after Regina, as the professor waves to you all. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I am Dr. Pennywind. I am the, one of the leads here on the part of the Arcano-Engineering department. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm sorry, I'm surprised to see other inquiring minds interested in Arcano-Engineering. It's a little bit niche, but I appreciate the curiosity.
Well, of course, as you're playing a vital part in the city's in the city's running. I have been wondering, curious. I've been hearing a lot about the underworkings of Vesara. From back when it was a flying city. Been hearing words about these massive manhole covers you sometimes find in basements across the city. I was wondering, perhaps, if you could shed any light on that.
I'm sorry, I'm not entirely sure. I do know that you may find certain ones. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Manhole covers discovered underneath properties. There's a possibility those had once to do with, similar to how our Hydra Vesara operates now. Basically, massive tunnel systems. There's a variety of possible reasons. Could have been used for the propelling system. For the, they used a old form of divine energy to be able to power early very simple Arcano-Engineering devices, including the propelling system, but also including water treatment and some other simple light fixtures that they were in the midst of expanding further. A lot of that information starts to get a little bit obscured based on the amount of time has passed and the secrecy of such things. And any time you start to get a little bit more into the divine, people's willingness to talk starts to get a little bit here.
I see.
You were talking about the Arcano-Chasms, so I can show you, kind of leads you off into a side room, which immediately opens into a rather, it basically opens into like a metal shop, a metalworking shop, except way more fancy. As you see that there's designated workspaces in the far side, you can see that there's this massive, what looks to be 2 balls of arcane energy that are causing a metal piece in the center to float up in the middle and just sparking and pounding arcane energy into it. before dropping it down onto a table, sizzling with the heat. You can see that there are certain things that are just floating across the room, just globes and little balls of light, seemingly keeping the place lit perpetually. As the doctor kind of turns around to look at you all. This is where we set up our initial designs, as well as with our third year classes, starting to get a little bit of a head on the design. Together with, again, we can't take all the credit. It was a great donation from the part of Verdant Industries that we were able to fully put together these constructs, and along with the original designs, and as well as some input from their creative teams, and together we were able to develop what will be a great business defense venture.
Verdant Industries, what is that? Do we know? Is that the museum, or?
Anyone proficient with history, please make a history check.
No one has history. Uh-oh.
Would they ever have crossed paths into Barb's Bar and Bakery? So I've got a great memory for that.
I'll say you can make a history check with disadvantage.
Okay, so, wow, I rolled both of them 12, but then with the -2 that I have in history, that's 10, but then I get to add double my proficiency. Does this count as local knowledge or no?
I'll count this as local knowledge.
Okay, sweet, so 14.
14. The name is actually a little bit familiar to you. Not for anything super dramatic. You don't know exactly what they do. It's a pretty large corporation, basically. At least citywide. You know it has something to do with magic and fancy shit.
How would I have heard about it? Like, would someone be complaining about them or something?
Yes, specifically that they, as per their business, you have encountered a few people who would come to your bar and complain that they're buying up places, like buying up shops and whatnot, to turn into warehousing facilities.
I see. So, big company, me no likey. Gotcha.
Dr. Pennywind kind of leads over to a desk where kind of pulls out... I can give you a little bit of an idea of some like early sketches that were made up, and just kind of shows you preliminary ideas. Certain ones are made to be like a little bit more humanoid, as opposed to the skeletal like spider aspect. There's a few that are different like animalistic designs. Like there's one that seems to be designed almost like a falcon. That's meant to be able to fly around large structures. We're still figuring out more schematics and designs, but these are a few that have been tabled as of the time. But I'm afraid there's not much more I can show of any more information aside from that.
Barb's trying to figure out where the little guy goes in these drawings. Where's the cockpit? Yeah. Silently.
These machines here, they're rolled out of the museum, but by your implication, they're going to be a bit more widespread across the city as a means of security. Is that it?
Somewhat, yes. That might be a bit optimistic, thinking that they'll be wheeled out to the rest, but it's a possibility. I mean, it would be quite exciting, I think, for many of the students, as being some of the lead designers for such a thing. But Verdant Industries has always been a wonderful place for our students to head to later, as a major form of employment here in the city. So who's to say? It would be a great project to set up between the school and their business, but you never know how these things go.
Inspire me. What were some difficulties you faced in creating these things and getting them out?
Oh, as with anything else, Arcano-Engineering can be a bit of a fickle beast. Finding the right bonding terms to hold pieces together. There's a lot of chemical reactions that need to take place in a certain order. It's very minute. It's very technical. But all to say, it's
Did they ever kill anyone?
of course not.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Fucking robots. 11.
11. Seems to be honest.
How long have you been working on these?
We've been operating on these for about, in around 8 months. Getting better close to the better part of a year.
So they're not your baby or anything?
They're one of many projects I've been able to help out with, but they are not of my own conception, no.
Something of an aggressive rollout in response to a very recent robbery. Was that the intention to roll them out at that time, or was it convenient timing? How did you get so many of them all at once?
Nice optics.
Well, simply that. That aspect of the work is predominantly done by Verdant Industries. But based on what you're saying, it seems that they emphasized the location working out with, well, in fairness to us. But as far as rolling out mass production, that was predominantly Verdant Industries' work.
So you don't produce them on campus. You produce them at Verdant.
Well, we designed them here on campus. We've been in discussions with the museum for a little bit of time, as well as a number of other locations across the city. We were in charge of developing a certain amount within here, but mass production would be taken on by Verdant Industries directly.
And you said that it was the third years you had here that were helping you with the designs, right?
Well, it was specifically the students as part of this subsect of the third years that were working on it, yes.
Pardon me, I don't wander out of a law department too much. I'm curious, we don't exactly have subsets back there. What do you mean by subsets?
Oh, well, third years, as it being the last year of completion of their degree, there are multiple subsets depending on general interest, reaching out to different professors. They'll usually be placed in certain groups and worked on different projects. So this subset has been working on this project for the past 8 months.
I see.
Are any of those subset students here right now?
Not currently, no. I could potentially reach out, but I probably wouldn't be able to get any of them here today. They'll probably be continuing with their classes.
The team members that have been on this project, has it been the same the whole way across, or have you shifted from some members to another, passing on information?
We're still discussing some last-minute things with Verdant Industries. However, most of the work has come to a close as of this point, and as per the completion of the hours, the students will be able to graduate with them.
Is there, in this lab we're in right now, is there any other students there, or is it just the doctor and whatever designs are milling about?
At this point in the day, there wouldn't be. However, you do notice that there do seem to be, basically from some of those floating orbs, in amongst the different light sections, you do see what look to be two of these orbs are working down at that section where you saw the that piece of metal being smelted. You're seeing that there are two mechanical arms that kind of pop out of the orb, pick up the piece, and begin returning it up, as another one seems to be working at some sort of console.
Are there any sort of team photos or a list of members, any sort of celebration of any kind, to celebrate the school newspaper clippings, local newspaper clippings? I assume any awards on the wall that may have team members' names, anything. I'm sure they're proud of what they've accomplished here.
You do notice on Dr. Pennywin's desk, you do see an illustration of what looks to be a large subset of people. You also do notice that there are two standing members, one on each side.
In the illustration?
In the illustration, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna just kind of start wandering around the lab, not making it look like I'm heading towards anything. I'm just kind of, like, ooh, what's this? A sprocket. Wow, fascinating.
You start milling as the doctor pulls out what looks to be a pocket watch. Well, I am afraid that we are going to have to start to get moving. I'm needed at another class pretty soon.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for your time.
Of course. And do I kind of goes behind the desk, roots around a little bit, pulls out what looks to be like basically like a nice what is that cardstock, kind of what almost looks like a pamphlet, and hands it out. This was given to me and a number of our teachers here in the department, about was it Verdant Industries. They should have the information on the back if you want to contact them and learn more that way. Something.
Yeah, total promo propaganda. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, who's taking it?
Well, I'll take it if you don't want it.
Yeah, I probably would have used the opportunity of the doctor going to her desk to rummage to walk over also and take a pointed look at the photograph.
You look at the photo and you can see one familiar face, as you see Dr. Pennywind, but you do see a cohort of what looks to be probably about 20 students who are all sitting together. As to the left of them, you can see what looks to be a relatively muscular man, well put together suit, what seems to be a rather thick mustache and hair slicked back, and is just looking towards the artist.
Is there any writing on this picture?
Does this person seem human?
It does seem human. There are names underneath, and the name underneath the human man is written as Arthur Mayhew.
History check? Is that what I roll?
Sure.
It's a nat one on that one.
No idea.
Maybe it's in the pamphlet. We can reconvene later.
You guys exit out of the room, divert off from the doctor. The doctor just kind of gives you all a wave. Thank you all so much for your interest. If you have any other questions, I'm usually around the floor. Feel free to reach out.
Thank you kindly.
At which point she nods and walks in the other direction. You guys are currently on the 3rd floor of the basement. What would you like to do?
I'll look at my pamphlet. I'll hold it down so Barb can see it.
I'm almost like 90-degree bent at this point.
You're looking at the pamphlet. There are 2 things that strike each of you. On it is relatively like just normal, like this is what our business, as it seems to dive into working specifically into Arcano-Tech, as well as focusing on it seems to be a predominant amount of their uses like Arcano-Tech for security or for leisure. So which includes like setting up self-propelled carriages, or into assisting Hydra Vesara with setting up Arcano electrical energy sections throughout the entire city. It's very much focused on like it's like the Elon Musk of Arcano-Tech, basically.
Is Hydra Vesara like a public utility, like in our socialist province, or is it like privately owned?
As of the current moment, it is not privately owned. Make a history check.
11.
You remember some stirring that, like, not that you actually like paid attention much to it. It was just on the front cover of like every page for a while that there were some like bidding wars over who owned the hydro system and the like other kind of basically just public utilities of the city. It eventually worked out that the local government was able to take hold of them, but it has not always been. It's been a tenuous situation at that. However, looking through the information, you do come across a familiar illustration of a relatively muscular, seems to be a man probably in his early to mid 50s, as this human gentleman is basically written down at the bottom of the page. And it's a lot of self-aggrandizing of this Arcano-Techno visionary Arthur Mayhew, who is the CEO of Verdant Industries, and this seeker of the future and what New Vesara has to offer. On the back, it continues on with just like a little bit more information on the company, but it goes into inquiries as well as a map with different site locations that you can reach out to. For Barb, you look at this map and something immediately clocks in your head. A lot of these sites are sites where places have burned down.
I rip it out of Gilly's hand and compare it with my little stack of papers that I keep in my back pocket.
Sorry, just to clarify. So this is a map of what exactly?
This is a map of like multiple locations in New Vesara that you can basically like the public offices, if you will, where like certain administration locations. The main one is basically in the downtown sector.
And sorry, this is on behalf of Verdant Industries?
Yes.
Sorry, Verdant is a private company, right?
Yes.
So these are private Verdant offices?
Yes.
Well, you could go there. If you're being recruited, you could go there. Multi-purpose offices open to the public, but belonging to the private company Verdant.
Where are we right now? Are we still in the school? Are we in like just the hallway?
Yeah, we haven't left the third floor.
We're in the basement.
Okay, so I'm like laying papers out on the floor right now. I'm so basically what I'm doing is I'm finding like clippings and notes of the specific fires that I recognize this map from, and then I think I also have a map that is all of the fire locations, and I find that and I just hand my shitty hand-drawn map with all of the fire locations on it with the pamphlet, and I just show it to everybody else like wordlessly, like, look at this.
I grab it and I kind of hold it close and go, bloody hell.
Hey, watch the evidence.
For context, there are, as you're looking over the pamphlet, there are 3 locations that it seems this company now owns that were formerly the burned down sites. It also lists the head office is in the East Ledge. Not super far from Aratosh Attorneys.
We're gonna crack this baby wide open.
I think our first order of business should be moving to a place where we look less suspicious, just standing around in a circle.
Has the bell? Are there like students passing us, and we're just sitting here?
There are students passing you as you have set up in just kind of like this concentric circle with just like pictures and a map and just maps everywhere on the floor.
Yeah, nobody's paying attention to us.
You do see that people are just giving passing glances, just confused at why someone is taking up the hallway, but aside from that, they're not stopping.
I mean, Barb definitely looks like a crazy arcane student right now.
I'm making a college, guys.
Let's go to the quad.
You have a point though, Regina. Let's go find a picnic table or something.
You pop out of the basement, heading back into the open fields of the quad.
Oh, maybe we can go find my old sorority house. It was house...
Ah, yes, everything written out in Draconic.
It translates better.
Is there like a shorter version of that? Like house for short?
Oh, yeah, that would have been better. We could have called ourselves the crew.
College is fascinating. Are we going to the bar? Are we going to the student bar? We should go. They have tables.
I think we should go to the student bar, but we should discuss this finding if we need to.
Right, yeah. I guess.
Because now Barb's conspiracy poison brain is thinking that this company
Boomer
is
brain.
behind everything. Boomer brain.
Oh yeah, I'm similarly on the same page as Barb. I've whatever interest I had in this journey to get this finger is lacking now. Now that I know there's concrete evidence as to the burnings.
Yeah, I feel like this is way more interesting than whatever Oslo was gonna tell us. But he might be interested in this, the fact that this company is, it's in my mind, burning down buildings to buy cheap real estate.
Is this the conversation we're having?
At the quad, yes.
It's like basketballs flying over our heads.
You guys are in the open quad where you have a variety, like, options to you.
Is there just like a bench with like one student eating? I just want to pick him up and just place him aside.
No, my Pop-Tarts!
Scram, freshman.
Runs off.
Okay, but so like not only are these ghouls buying up and burning down real estate, they also seem to be like building an autonomous police force that can be privatized and let loose on the city. That's pretty ominous.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the army of robots.
Yeah, I think I want to bring these motherfuckers down. I'm 100% convinced that these guys ruined my life.
Well, be that as it may, unfortunately, unless we want to take on an entire army of robots, if we want to have any chance of taking this company down, we're going to need more evidence than what we've got now.
What better place to start than the head office? Walk in the front door. It's worked out for us before. Work out for us again.
I think I still want to know how to kill these robots, and we should talk to the students who built.
Or we could break into a warehouse and break one ourselves.
That's true. We might even find some sort of construction site in Verdant Industries where they're being built. We could find one there, and we could change it so that it follows us around.
All right, so I'm eating this kid's discarded sandwich. Just so we're clear, we walked in to Oslo Thunderkin's stronghold, demanded to see him, struck some kind of backroom deal with him, which we are now ditching to go to an office building.
I mean, he did say we could ditch it.
Delaying, not ditching. He was a means to an end. If we need a means, we shall go to the end. But in this case, we've got critical information, thanks to Emotion Bob. Our friend here, and her research, shows us where our pointed interests lie, perhaps.
I want to go to the student bar.
Yeah, Elf on the Shelf. Where are we going?
I would like to just point out for Regina, make a history check.
That's a 7.
7. Please continue.
Ah,
Oh, no.
fuck. Ah, shit. Ah, fuck. Ah,
I hate
crap.
that.
Actually, you know what? I'll also... The DC is going to be higher, but I'll also throw in Gilly in there, too. You can make a history check as well.
Oh, shit, you guys. I got a 19.
Oh, shit. Okay. So Gilly, you don't know this for certain. However, back in the old days, as per your old profession, simply the fact that this company now owns the sites does not necessarily mean something. It's weird, absolutely. However, it is known that when a location, or like basically it's like any other scrap.
Well, it's the cheapest real estate, what just burned down.
Yeah, well that, but also if no one comes forward on the actual location, like the site, if no one comes in about like the actual like ownership, or for some reason the person just decides to cut their losses, take the insurance money, and then just give it to the city will sell it at a massive discount. So it's cheap real estate because you have to rebuild whatever was there. But also the city does that for a variety of things. Like if cars are found scrapped, that's a real life example. Like basically if like things that were stolen and discarded, or stolen but no one comes to like take the actual product, the city, or on the greater part on the part of the Justice Department, will sell it so that way they can like keep funding like just like parts of the Justice Department.
companies like this, they eat the weak. They'll buy whatever's cheapest, and something that just got turned to ashes is probably pretty shitty real estate for anyone who doesn't want to bulldoze it anyway. Just saying. I finished the sandwich.
Was it a good sandwich?
No, it was horrible. It was dry, but I can wash it down, I guess. It's food and it's free.
You made it free.
You made it free, my man.
I did.
Thanks for the sandwich, Lance.
Give a nod.
So, noon o'clock, time to drink.
I guess so. Let's go to my old haunt. Unless the engineers and the law students have different bars they go to.
Assuming they're not in class. But what do teachers know? They're probably not in class.
I'm sorry. What's your IRL experience with engineering students? Because I have some facts for you. Sometimes we go to the bar to do our homework because doing it with a pint felt better. I don't know. We're all depressed.
Engineers are fucked.
It's true. They got so many problems and only so many solutions.
With that being the case, someone please lead an investigation check with advantage.
I guess I'll lead it, since I know the campus. 22. The most fucking worthless roll of my life.
You guys do find what would be the engineer's bar, which is known as the Rogues Riot. As you step inside, like low lit, like basically just your average pub, where you can see, with the help of Lance, you do clock what look to be 3 students sitting in a far corner, each probably about a pint or 2 in, who are both like, all of them just seem to be looking at like probably like equations and like problems they need to solve for like a final exam that's coming up, and all 3 of them just look in differing stages of existential dread and anguish.
I'll go and order whatever the kid's having.
What's the rest of the bar vibe? Like, are there other people?
Of the group, you're not entirely sure if they're exactly the lead. It is the center one, which seems to be a young man, black hair. You already see 3 pints in front of him. So at the very least has been drinking for a while.
Yeah, I think our strat might be like sitting near them and then talking loudly about their project incorrectly, and they'll correct us. Stop whatever.
In which case, Barb, make a persuasion check.
You know what, Barb? I love how they have a tiny guy piloting those things. It's great. I'm assisting.
Yeah, the power source. Yeah, I know. Persuasion. Okay, that's a 16.
As the group of you are talking loudly, you just see the people from the other table just kind of look up, kind of like incredulous. Like you see, especially the black-haired guy is like looking excited, and then the moment you say that, he like, it's just like one of those moments, like such deep anguish, just like, oh, there's no pilots. Why would there be pilots? Why?
Yeah, turn around. What are you talking about?
Sorry, did you say something?
There's no pilots in those things.
No way. But then how do they move?
And what are their weak points?
Shut up, Gilly.
Here, you want a beer?
Gilly, make a deception check at advantage.
Oh, because they're plastered at noon.
I got 2 17s for a dirty 20.
Kind of looks up, just waves to his friend, kind of back up, stands up over to you, takes the beer. Okay. No, they're not. There's no pilots. It's operated on a network system, so they all respond to each other. There's different, basically symbols that are ingrained into the different metallurgy that respond to one another, and then they in turn respond to themselves. It's like a living network. They're all pieces that operate like a giant puzzle.
And at the center of the network, that's where the pilot is.
No, at the center of the network, there's just a number of symbols there. There's no pilot. There's no one there.
But how do you turn them on? How do they go?
How do they talk? They don't have tongues.
No, they don't. The symbols talk to each other. Like,
The symbols talk to each other.
yeah, the symbols on the actual like being, like they're carved into the side.
That's fascinating. How does that work?
That seems ridiculous. if you cover one of the symbols, then it'll shut down.
Well, you need to do a little bit more than that. You have to be able to, like, either interfere with the actual, like, frequency between beings to be able to, like, isolate one. You also could just try and, like, disable, like, an individual one. Really, there's one kind of set up in the exoskeletal spine that there's, like, that's, like, the main... Like, that's where the rippling occurs. Like, it's an arcane force in itself, so if you just pop that, that would probably knock him out pretty good, too.
No way. How do you know so much? You're so smart, you know?
Oh, I worked on them.
No way.
Yeah.
You're a bright kid, you know? You've got something really going for you here.
Thanks. It's, I mean, this work, it's really helped me out. I got a premier scholarship straight to Verdant Industries, if you know what I mean.
If you got a scholarship while you're still studying.
Sorry, I say scholarship? I'm sorry, I've had a few. No, straight to it job. Internship for like 2 weeks, but then they're just gonna hire me, full benefits, all that sort of thing. To be honest, before this, I was fucked. I was really fucked.
In what way?
Oh, I just mean I would, I didn't really have like any kind of like options later. I didn't have like that sort of skill. But it's like, I'm lucky that I was able to make my way into this. If anything happened to those things, whew, my life is over.
Oh no! I mean, you can't pin all your hopes on one thing. You got a bright future here, kid.
Oh, well, you know, I mean, like, well, you know, like between you and me, like anybody else, like really, at the end of the day, like, I mean, it's just us here at the bar. So, but if they found out like any kind of like inherent weakness, or like really just my entire class, like we'll just be kicked to the streets, because that's just how the business is done. At least that's what Mr. Mayhew says. I mean,
you must have made them absolutely foolproof then.
Oh, of course they're foolproof. Nothing can stop them.
Nothing? You've never even like tried just to see if you can?
Oh, well, I mean, like when you build them up, like I said, centerpiece, and but who's gonna think of that really? Who's going to think to hit that one in particular, or to mess up with the... Yeah, it's only going to happen in the mind of an engineer. It's like, well, it's either that or someone like let the information loose, and then they're going to have to fire everyone related, but...
Oh, thanks, kid. I just thought those were like tiny little dudes in there, because I don't know much about Arcana, you know?
I'm glad you asked the question. That's how education works. The other two, you can see the two friends... and are taking him outside. As you see, they're just kind of seeing the scenario and just like, we need to get him out of here.
Yeah, that's fair. Have a good one, guys.
They just wave and thank you before dipping. At which point you guys are able to grab a drink, able to grab some lunch if you'd like. With that being the case, where would you guys like to go next?
What if we split up and
No.
half of us go
No.
heist the museum
No.
and half of us go
No.
to Verdant Industries?
Absolutely not. Okay, one qualm that I don't know if Barb has. Yeah, no, an issue may occur if we use this weakness that we now know against one version of these robots, and then they change it, and then we can't use it again. Right? It could be like letting them know that we know. Yeah, like Barb is creating this big conspiracy in her head right now, and she wants to like investigate the company, but also in a very like malicious way, like do everything that she can to hurt them.
Okay. So let's just go to Verdant then.
The idea of busting down office doors is pretty exciting.
All right. Well, which location you want to go to? Do you want to head to the head office, or do you want to go to one of the subsidiary locations?
I think the subsidiary, because then we can see about like the burning stuff.
Let's go to the closest one that was a fire.
You travel back across the East Ledge, heading back over to the west side of town. You head into the Footlights District, which is basically the entertainment sector of the city. The numerous landmarks, you can see that it's still the old-style streets. You can see a number of theaters and different... basically the late nightclubs are beginning to like very slowly open their doors. And probably the most notable location here in the Footlights is on a large raised, almost like a hill cliff section that springs out. Is what looks to be like an old Louisiana style barge that sits on top of it, like seemingly just like thrown there out of the water. Multiple floors where the glamour barge rests, which to you, Regina, you know this is where the Namiri, their hideout is. However, you guys divert off as you come across a very simple, what looks to be a 2-floor, it basically looked just like an office building that has sprung up in between what looked to be 2 different sections of apartments in an off street off of the, like one of the main strips of the actual Footlights. You can see Verdant Industries is set into a gold name plaque on the front. There's a set of double doors and multiple windows that go up.
I rummage in my little folder. Do I know when this one burned down?
Yes, this one burned down about 1.5 years ago.
What was it before?
This was once just an apartment building.
I'm just wondering, might not be a bad idea. We got apartment buildings on either side. Maybe someone was there when it burned down. Might have seen something.
Why don't we infiltrate? Maybe we could pretend to be, I don't know, janitors, out of work janitors. I've done that one a couple times.
I'm in.
Maybe look for some basements. Seem to be good at that.
All right, let's go in.
You walk inside. You can see that, very simple. You can see that there is a open foyer room that seems to lead to a set of stairs that go up. Either side, there seem to be offices. It seems to be what seems to be a younger man, like vibrant red hair. Was almost this interesting, like almost like pale yellow, orange flickering skin. That as you watch, kind of with the hair, it begins, like the hair itself begins to move ever so gently before you start to notice the fire that's curling off the top of the head. Kind of looks over towards you. Hi.
Hi.
Can I help you with anything?
Yeah, where's the supply closet?
What? Why do you want to know?
Don't worry about it.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Okay, a persuasion?
You can make a persuasion or intimidation.
Damn. 23.
23. Standing there, just kind of sitting down, looking at all you, just points into the back. It's back there.
Great, thanks. See ya. Walk over.
As we pass by, I want to give him like a little like double pat on the cheek. You know, like a really like condescending pat.
You walk to the back where you can see that there is a closed door next to the stairway. You do see that there is a set of stairs that do go down.
This is my patented investigation technique. It's called go until someone stops you.
You guys get down where you can see that there is a what looks to be a steel door written in the front of it, maintenance.
Does it look like a maintenance door, or does it look like a stronghold door?
Hard to say.
Well, I can't actually pick locks, unfortunately, so.
Allow me. Which skill is this?
This is its own skill. So it is, yeah, we're going to make this Dex plus proficiency.
While he's picking the lock, I just stand there and think about how this ring has been tracking me.
That is going to be a 15.
You are... You can feel your tools bending. You're not able to get it open.
Hold on, let me try one thing. My plan is to go up there and ask that guy for the keys.
You walk up the steps to where the desk is. He is not there anymore.
I'm gonna go in his desk and see if there's keys.
Make an investigation check.
Just escalate, why not, right? I got a dirt 20. A 20 of the earth.
Dirt 20. You head into a side drawer and you do find a ring of keys.
Great, I grab everything. Even some post-its. They're expensive.
All right. Shoot. Head back downstairs. You start running through keys. It's not until you get to about the second to third last one before you hear a clink.
There we go. Walk in.
You see a simple stone basement. You can see what looks to be, on the left-hand side, what looks to be a large, similar to what, similar in size and scope of Arcano-Engineering as you saw in the university, but on a much smaller level. It is not those large two arcane balls that are bursting energy at each other, but you do see it looks like there's a console with what looks to be a glass plate in front with what looks to be almost like two tubes that are just firing arcane energy at each other. That just seems to be surging. The rest of the room, you can see that there are some old supplies. There seem to be tables, chairs. You can see that there's a side table with what looks to be mugs that have been left there for a while. Very mildewy.
Any papers?
Make an investigation check.
By the way, that elemental person up there was gone when I went up, so we might have company. We should maybe get out of here soon. Would anyone like to assist me with my investigation, or shall I?
I would like to do general, things I would personally find peculiar.
I rolled a 5.
I received a 12.
I will flutter to the door and keep an eye out.
Make a perception check.
I received a 13.
Okay. For Gilly, you look around the room. No papers down here. Lance, you look around. Seems to be just a basement. Regina, as of this moment, you don't hear anything.
Did you all find anything?
Is that your undercover voice?
I'm trying to whisper, but I think it just makes my accent get thicker.
Oh, can you teach me how to do that?
Are there any wall holes?
Make an investigation check.
10.
10. Looking around. Just looks like a basement.
I think this is a basement, guys.
Yep. Let's leave.
Okay. As you guys are heading for the door, you're beginning to hear footsteps.
Oh, God.
Maybe one floor above you.
Shit. We've got company. Are we staying in or coming out?
Wait, if we close the door, they don't necessarily know we're in here. Let's close the door and hide under tables. That's what I usually do when someone finds me.
Well, all right then. Let's close it.
Close it and lock it.
I hide under a table.
I hide under Gilly, under the table.
Hey, get your own.
Hide behind the door.
Is there anywhere that can hide me?
You look like a robot. You should just stand there.
Yeah, just pretend you're one of the robots.
I stand there next to a robot and stay as still as I can.
All of you make stealth checks.
I have to do it at disadvantage. Because of my jingle suit. You guys, I rolled 2 8s, which is a 9.
Fuck. Shit. God damn it.
Ooh, 18.
How's an 11?
That'll be an 8 for me.
Okay. That's cocked. Okay. You guys wait. The only light being the energy from the shining from the arcane beam, from which I would like everyone to please make a perception check.
Fucking finally. That's an 18.
Another 18. 18.
Ugh. 4.
6.
From the light of the beam, you notice far wall, a very slight shadow being cast, but also a slight glittering against a far stone section built like actually in the wall. Like it looks like a carving.
I'm gonna message Gilly. Gilly. There's something over on the far side of the wall.
If I move, it'll sound like a change purse.
Alright, I'll move and get it.
Why are you using message? Your hair is literally in my mouth.
I spent an entire semester learning this spell and I'm gonna fucking use it.
You should learn the spell less hair gel.
My hair's made of clouds, you idiots! And I'm going to make my way over to the carving.
While this is happening, for Barb, you're sitting there, you're looking around the room, you're hearing the gung, gung, gung of the blasting energy, and you're looking at the lights just around you and just trying to calm yourself down. And then you notice the stones, like the stonework on the walls, are different than the stonework on the floor. They're made to look the same, but the stonework on the constructing the floor is much newer. The stonework around looks much older.
Is there signs of a way down, like a trapdoor or like one that looks like it moves? No. Okay, so it's like someone's created a floor on top and has no access point to the below. Okay.
At which point you watch as Reggie flies over to a corner. Where Reggie, you see in a basically in a corner spot that's slightly out of the way from perspective, you see that there is some writing on a stretch of wall. As you approach it, please make an Arcana check.
That's a 12.
A 12. As of the moment, you have no idea what this says.
Does it look like a language?
Actually, that's a fair point. What languages do you speak?
I speak Common and Sylvan.
You do not recognize this.
How big is this section of the wall?
Well, the section of wall, the writing is maybe about like a foot long.
You gonna try tapping it, touching it, feeling it up?
Running your fingers across it. Nothing happens. What are the languages that everyone speaks?
Common and Dwarvish.
Thieves' Cant, Common, Elvish, Aquan, and Infernal.
I also am fairly traveled. I would probably, I don't know specifically, but I think I would maybe have, if not a familiarity, or if not understanding, at least a familiarity, maybe, with some further languages. Like, I can't read Japanese, but I can tell what Japanese script looks like, you know? Like,
this is esoteric enough that it would probably not strike you. For Gilly, you don't know what this says, but it's something where, like, the script looks similar in a lot of ways to Infernal, which narrows it down at least to two others to you, because the, like, very esoteric scripts, Infernal, Abyssal, and Celestial, all have similar, like, looks to them.
It's god shit.
I place my hand on it.
Place your hand on it. Feels like cold stone.
Guys, did you notice that the floor is weird? It's like way newer than the rest of the place. I think there's something hidden underneath it.
A divine sense is gonna happen.
You sense the writing, like, it does not seem to be crafted from divine energy. It just seems to be like what is written. However, you do sense divine magic beneath you. It senses the same as the energy you got from the port, like from the wall bolt.
I have such a headache. It's just like in that other basement. The headache is coming from the ground somehow.
You guys hear a resounding against the door.
All right, it could be that elemental guy.
If you open the door just at the time that they're gonna hit it, they'll fall through and we'll get
advantage in the ensuing chaos.
All right. I might just stay behind me.
I want to position myself in front of the door so that when Regina opens it, the person falls right into my arms and I grab them.
I'll be in position to help slam it closed again once whoever is there is through.
1, 2. I wait for for a pound to happen, and I open the door.
And that's where we're going to leave it off for next time.
Fuck!
We lived, we laughed, we loved. That was very productive. That was one of our most productive episodes.
Also, because you were so productive, you guys level up. Well, with that being the case, is there anything that people would like to plug?
I have 2 plugs. First one is for the coming of age fantasy adventure podcast October Jones and Fish with Legs. It's a great buddy comedy, comedic, dramatic fantasy adventure. Everyone here has featured in it. Lizzie is the narrator / writer / producer / designer. Check out October Jones and Fish with Legs on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever good podcasts are to be found. I would also like to plug, because we're a day before Halloween in our timeline, Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is a great Halloween viewing. It has Gary Oldman as Dracula, Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harkness, Winona Ryder as Mina, Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing. It's just a real great time that everyone should go see it as soon as humanly possible.
Or I'm gonna plug artichoke dip. It's mostly cream cheese. There's caramelized onions, there's roasted artichoke hearts, and thyme, fresh thyme, and I just use it as schmear on my bagel, and it's amazing.
I would like to plug buying Halloween candy in November. As we record this, we're days away from Halloween, although the time that this goes up will probably be closer to Christmas. But the rule still applies there. Assuming if you want to do something nice for the kids in your neighborhood, obviously buy some candy before. But if you're a hardworking adult who can make choices, go check out your local grocery stores and things in early November, because you get some sweet candy deals, and I always recommend that.
Well, with all that being the case, thank you all so much for listening us here at The Rook and the Rascal. If you like this series, make sure to check out our prior series, including Montreal by Night and Those Damn Kids, in which some of our past players have been a part of. If you want to listen to more of those series, make sure to check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, or check us out on YouTube under Three Kings Loot. And get all your board game news from thebagofloot.com and all your board game needs from threekingsloot.com. This is from all of us here. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.